having this stuff as a kid, and it was absolutely amazing, but we can make it better. So come along with me as we make this updated version of a childhood classic, Hamburger Helper.
Alright, so we know Hamburger Helper as a childhood classic. Remember when your parents used to make this for you as a kid and it hit? And it's simple, right? You take a box which typically consists of elbow noodles and a fake powdered cheese packet. Unenthusiastic, yay! Then you mix it with some ground beef, but we're adults now, and it's time we act like one. So if you're in need of an elevated version of this nostalgic classic, then you're in the right place. Now let's get to cooking. Now all good pastas have vegetables. Yes, I said that correctly, vegetables. To start, we're going to cut up some bell peppers. You can use whatever color bell peppers you like, but if you want to create that real deal kind of flavor, grab a bell pepper of each color. I feel the combination of green, yellow, orange, and red has its own flavor palette, but it also adds a nice touch of vibrance to your dish. Maybe it's just me, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick by it. Now you're going to want to finely dice everything into small cubes because it will literally melt once it sweats down and cooks. Plus it looks prettier. Oh, and you're also going to want to dice an onion because this is an elevated hamburger helper. Duh. Like, why wouldn't you have onions? Feel me? Now this is going to be cheesy, and no, I'm not talking about my poor attempt at humor. I'm talking about the sauce. Instead of using that artificial cheese powder, we're going to take it up a notch with using cheddar cheese and pepper jack cheese as our base, plus one of 3 key secret ingredients, which will be featured later on. But for now, get your cheeses finely shredded and then put them to the side. Now we're really ready to rock and roll. We're going to get a pan nice and hot, and for this recipe, we're using 2 types of meat. Typically, I use a combination of ground beef and ground turkey, but you can substitute the turkey out for pork or just use straight up ground beef if you like. I think the turkey adds a bit more texture when combined with the ground beef, but that's just me. Just take my word for it. Now we're going to get that meat nice and brown, but we're not going to season it just yet. Under no circumstances should you ever season your minced meat until after it's cooked. This way you can ensure that when your ingredients are combined, you can actually taste that seasoning rather than it just burn off in the pan. Now the great thing about using ground turkey is because it doesn't have all that fat content like you would with ground beef, all that excess oil that comes from the ground beef will be absorbed in the turkey, so there won't be too much leftover oil, but if there is, you can just simply drain it out as normal. Now put that meat to the side, and now we're going to be cooking our vegetables down. The best part about this is that you'll get a great base of flavor from this alone, but as with any recipe, the technique is layering the flavors, and you'll see what I mean next. We're going to season our vegetables with kosher salt and fresh black pepper. Most recipes you'll see have everything in one pot and then it's seasoned. I mean, for example, if you just taste the Hamburger Helper as it is out the box, you don't really get to taste much aside from the cheese. And we want to make sure that every bit of flavor is elevated in its own way. And as I mentioned before, we're going to layer our seasoning so you can really taste the components of your dish. You want to taste the sweetness of the peppers, the savoriness of the meat, and the creaminess of the cheese sauce. And you can't see it in the background, but if you can, good eye, or maybe you're just very nosy. But I'm using cavatappi pasta. You can use elbow if you have it, but cavatappi absorbs the cheese so much better, believe me. And now, secret weapon number 1, shredded carrots. Didn't I tell you every great sauce has vegetables? Thought I was kidding, right? But nah, when properly rendered down, shredded carrots add a nice bite to your pasta, and of course it gives that nice, beautiful orange color to your dish. Now we're going to start putting it all together and adding our meat mixture. And now we can begin to season our ingredients. First, we're going to add in our infamous kosher salt, and we can adjust for more salt later on, but I'd say just add a generous pinch initially. Then we're going to season it with some freshly cracked black pepper to give it a bit of spice, and then we're going to add in some garlic powder and finish it off for now with some onion powder. Now, secret recipe ingredient number 2, sofrito. Check out the link in the description for the full recipe. And now shot o'clock.
Bottoms up.
What was that?
Now we're going to show a little love to our dinner by adding some red wine to the mix. Make sure it's official red wine, not that red cooking stuff. Get the real deal. Next up, I added some beef broth to help develop that sauce and also add a bit more savoriness to our Hamburger Helper. Savoriness is a word, right? I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's a word. And then we're going to add some garlic and tomato paste and mix in some heavy cream. Now, I told you what the first 2 secret weapons are. Can you guess what the third one is? No? Secret weapon number 3 is room temperature cream cheese. Once you combine this with your cheddar and pepper jack cheese, this will give your Hamburger Helper that elevated taste that it deserves. Next up, add your al dente cavatappi pasta and mix in with some of that reserved pasta water to emulsify. Now once mixed, finish off with some Old Bay and a packet of Sazon seasoning to add another layer of flavor. plus that beautiful color to your dish. Now we're going to roll up and finally dice some fresh parsley so we can use it for our garnish. And now we can plate our dish. We're going to add our pasta to the plate, and if you're about presentation like me, clean the side with a clean paper towel and garnish with your parsley. And there you have it, homemade Hamburger Helper the right way. Get a look at that gorgeous work of art. And the food ain't so bad either. And you know we got it going for a taste. Do a little happy dance, show that final shot in all of its glory. Just pure perfection. See ya. Hey friends, thank you for viewing my video.